There is one organ which causes high blood pressure, and it's not what you think. And there are specific exercises you can use to target and fix your blood pressure easily. No diet, lifestyle changes, or medication required. Check the link in the description below, but for now, today's question.
The question, can high blood pressure kill? Answer by Leanne Heisey. Not the oft-seen 150/100ths of a millimeter. Hg. And medicinal intervention in those isn't so impressive either. See treatment for hypertension in adults aged 18 to 59 years. But really high blood pressure, like those seen in before the veteran trials from the late 60s showed they should have been treated even when not yet sick, and left untreated until an event like stroke, heart attack, heart failure or kidney failure took place, does. See this treated versus placebo-treated first 1967 and second 1970 U.S. veteran studies. At that time we still thought that we should select the patients according to their diastolic blood pressure. This 2002 graph gives you better view on mortality and blood pressure, both systolic and diastolic, according age groups. So indeed, hypertension, if high enough, can kill. E.g. greater than 8 times more of systolic blood pressure was 180 instead of 120 millimeters. Hg. Even pre-hypertension shows a cardiovascular event rate equals deaths in between normal and hypertensives, more so in males than in females. Answer by Aversica. Not the oft-seen 150/100ths of a millimeter. Hg. And medicinal intervention in those isn't so impressive either. See treatment for hypertension in adults aged 18 to 59 years. But really high blood pressure, like those seen in before the veteran trials from the late 60s showed they should have been treated even when not yet sick, and left untreated until an event like stroke, heart attack, heart failure or kidney failure took place, does. See this treated versus placebo-treated first 1967 and second 1970 U.S. veteran studies. At that time we still thought that we should select the patients according to their diastolic blood pressure. This 2002 graph gives you better view on mortality and blood pressure, both systolic and diastolic, according age groups. So indeed, hypertension, if high enough, can kill. E.g. greater than 8 times more of systolic blood pressure was 180 instead of 120 millimeters. Hg. Even pre-hypertension shows a cardiovascular event rate equals deaths in between normal and hypertensives, more so in males than in females. Answer by Angela Kunis. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Mark Twain. Source video. Blood pressure exercises vs LCB. When I was 13, my grandmother died from a massive stroke. I recall asking my father what had caused her stroke. He said that his mother's oil burner had started smoking and she became emotionally upset about it. Within a few minutes she became confused, and then collapsed to the floor. I recall vividly the case of an attorney whose new, fancy car was scratched from one end to the other by a teenage punk. The lawyer, when he saw the damage, became enraged and had a heart attack on the spot. I treated him later in the emergency room and he was still highly agitated. I calmed him down. The car wasn't worth the price of his life, I said. That's what I told all my patients who were stressed to the gills and who were angry people. I would tell them about the lawyer and my grandmother, and about Bob Elliott, a great cardiologist from whom I learned a great deal. While standing at a hospital podium in the mid-1970s and delivering a lecture on how to prevent heart attacks, Elliott suffered a heart attack. He was only 44 years old. Elliott survived the event and made a full recovery, during which time he recognized that stress had taken him down. He realized he had to make dramatic lifestyle changes or else he would be a goner. He was his own first stress patient, as he put it. With a new lease on life, he went on to establish the Department of Preventive and Stress Medicine at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. He became an outspoken advocate for productivity without self-destruction. Elliott came to national attention with his popular book Is It Worth Dying For? New York, Bantam, 1984. He advised that the best way to handle stress, particularly intense situations of hostility, anger, and explosive rage, was to be aware that these emotions carry a heavy price, including the potential for sudden death. His mantra was, "Don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff anyway." I highly recommend his book, still very relevant after all these years. It is a humorous read about a serious subject. The title of the book is perfectly crafted. Is any emotional event really worth dying for? For your arteries, stress is really like an arsonist with matches in one hand and a gasoline can in the other. You must disarm this perpetrator before it hurts you.